The Wagners, played by Mark Wahlberg and Byrne, are interested in becoming foster parents. And usually, you think one child. Well, they take on siblings, and their family of possibly 3 becomes a family of 5 quite quickly. Quite quickly. The director having such a personal attachment, I don't know if that's the right word, to the story is wonderful because he infused it with not just this, humor, but this humility. And while you're laughing out loud and sometimes crying, you understand the humanity of the story and how important stories like this are. So I think it's an asset to have Sean on board as a writer-director. My interpretation of the message is that every child needs a loving home. Life is not all a drama. It's not all a comedy. It's not all of anything. It's this plethora of everything, and that's what's so beautiful about this story because you run the gamut of emotions. When I read the script, first of all, I should say that I had seen, Sean's movies, so I knew that I was going to be entertained. I did not know that I was going to be moved in such a way. Um, and at this stage in my life, I want to put material out there that, people, they can laugh, they can cry, and just allow for a bit of escapism from their lives. And this script did all of those things, but it also made me take stock of the fact that, I could possibly do this. I could, be a loving parent to a child that needs it. It really is affecting me that way, and, just hearing his story and how passionate he is and seeing his beautiful family, and it is so funny, all of the scenes that when they first come to the foster care orientation, all of those scenes are so funny, but everybody comes out on the other side very changed, all of the, applicants. So, yeah, it's a beautiful, beautiful, funny, heartwarming story. You would have to be a robot not to feel something when you watch this film. They were the cutest kids, and I just wanted to pick them all up and just put them in a little bag and take them with me. But I also just felt so touched by the parents, that you could see the love and the joy on their faces, and a lot of them, don't even understand what movie making is, and why are we doing this over again? I thought we did it, but they were having such a great time, and that was also very special, a really unique touch that I think a person who hadn't gone through this process would not have understood the beautiful detail of having people, real people, who'd actually gone through this process as a part of the film. But that's the beauty of having Sean as a director-writer. Sharon. Sharon, played by Tig Notaro. We call ourselves a Weeble and Wobble. I think I'm the wobble to her weeble. And we have that kind of fun. I mean, she has this dry wit sense of humor, and I am animated and out there. So when you have animated out there and then dry wit, it is just like this beautiful mix. Our dynamic off camera is pretty much, what you see on camera. We just develop this instant affection for each other. But I've been a fan of hers for a long time. So to finally be able to work with her, and we have mutual friends, it's so funny. And she brings so much to her role. And it's hard to elevate something that's already well written. But imagine that what you read, how she plays this character is just magic. It's just magic. It's really hard to do scenes opposite her because you have to try to stay in the scene and not like break. I'm finding myself doing that a lot, especially watching Rose and Mark. It's just, you try to be a sphinx. I'm a sphinx. I'm in the scene. I can't laugh, and I break when the camera's on them, and that's so terrible of me. It's so unprofessional. But yes, I do. I break. Well, I'm a huge fan of Rose Byrne and Mark Wahlberg. And I tell you, my first day on set with them, just watching the two of them banter back and forth, and it is just like every couple that you see, and the things coming out of their mouths was amazing. I'm just in heaven being a part of these things, but they're amazing. They're amazing actors, and they have the gift of comedic timing. I think when you are dealing with subject matter that can be so traumatic, you have to offer that spoonful of sugar. And that's where the humor is so important. Well, you have to inject the humor, but at the end of the day, they are playing a couple who want to start a family. And there's nothing easy about that. There's never, when is the right time, And so watching them deal with the stakes of our lives are going to change. Are we really ready for our lives to change? Okay, our lives have changed. What are we going to do? Our lives are changing. And watching them navigate that in a real way is hysterically funny and also heartbreaking at moments. But you're with them. You're with them from the moment they walk into the room. I mean, it's hard not to love them as a couple. Um, but it's such a wonderful story and such a very needed story. I didn't realize how much we need stories like this. So, yeah, I'm glad that we can laugh a little, but really take a long, hard look at what the foster care system is like for the parents and the children that are in the system. They are all just adorable and so good. I mean, the scene where they are, well, I don't know if I can give that away. Christmas morning, they want to play with the box. Oh, Sean is, we have the same work ethic. Which I learned because I like to go to set early. I like to see, you have to live as a character in a space or present that you've lived in a space for, however long. And that's kind of hard to do when the first time you see it is when you come on to set. So I like to go to set early. And so does Sean. And he has this wonderful integrative nature about how he integrates the material and the work and the blocking and incorporates all of that into the rehearsal process. And he just, man, he's so thoughtful. He knows this script inside out. So if you have any question or anything, he can answer it in such a beautiful way. But it also feels like he really likes to collaborate in a way that I haven't ever experienced with a director. I mean, there's collaboration and there's collaboration, and they're both great. But his way of collaborating it's really like now I'm spoiled, and I want to put him in my contracts. She must direct me in everything. Love Sean. When it's not your truth or your reality, it's easy for it to be invisible. But when you're confronted by it and know the harsh realities, the thought that when a foster child becomes a teenager, the likelihood of them becoming adopted diminishes exponentially. And a lot of them, become homeless. And so when you think about it, it's like, that is terrifying. And all of the kids that are in the system, you would love to see them in loving and caring homes. There's so much stuff. I mean, I don't want to cry because I'm thinking about it. The things that I've learned. I can't remember her name, the Kinship Center founder, but she said a lot of children are in the foster care system because of the opioid crisis. And that's painful because when you think of siblings, and how people are terrified because they just want the one baby, and it's like the need is for children of all ages, all ethnicities, all shapes and sizes, all socioeconomic levels, being put into the system. It's a hard reality. It's a very hard reality, and I'm grateful that this story is being told in this way because I think people will be more receptive with the idea of it as a comedy, and the message, I think, will resonate with the humor. I've been in a couple of movies that have changed perceptions about certain things. Absolutely, I think this movie will change perceptions, especially, when you look at Sean and his beautiful family. And he really does, he tackles some serious issues, and, he asks those questions, and we talk about them in the film. I hope that audience will take away some beautiful children out of the foster care system and integrate them into their homes. Even if you can't open your home up, open your heart, donate time, donate money, donate facilities to help these kids who are in that very transitory state.